What's up guys, it's the Hockey Radar tracking drafts and prospects, and for today's Saturday video I wanted to switch things up a bit and give you guys a prospect news report looking at prospects around the world, drafted or not, and giving an update on a select few. This is how the schedule will go from now on, with Saturdays rotating between prospect news and my 2026 draft series. If you haven't seen the series, make sure to go check it out on my page, as well as tons of other prospect content. Starting in the NHL, 5 2025 draft class players have managed to crack their NHL rosters. Matthew Schaefer, the Islanders' first overall pick, who put up 2 assists in 4 preseason games, playing north of 22 minutes a night. Michael Misa, the Sharks' number 2 pick, who played in 4 games going pointless, but who looked really good and ready for the NHL. Brady Martin, 5th overall by the Preds, who had 3 points in 4 games. Ben Kindle, who went 11th to the Penguins with 3 points in all 6 preseason games. And Braden Coots, 15th overall by the Vancouver Canucks, who put up an impressive 4 points in 4 games. Great story to see Schaefer make the roster after an injury-shortened season. Not surprised to see Misa make it after a monster year he had, and how motivated he is to crack the roster. I was surprised to see Martin do so well for the Preds, but it's great to see after they took some heat using that pick on him early at 5. I was also surprised to see Kindle make it, but after the preseason he had and the lack of youth and depth on the Pens roster, it was the best option to keep him, at least for now. And lastly, most surprising was Braden Coots, especially all the way at 15th, but he arguably had the best preseason of them all, going at a point per game pace, and with the Canucks' desperate need for centers, it makes sense to keep him for now. Now, all teams can give them 9 games to see how well they fit before deciding to send them back down or burn a year off their ELC and keep them for the full year. And for me, I think Martin, Kindle, and Coots will all find themselves getting sent down by the time the 9 games is up, just because I don't think it's worth rushing them, and the only players I think are ready are Misa and Schaefer. Going overseas, Chicago's 3rd overall pick, Anton Frundell, has been lighting it up in the SHL for Djurgårdens. As of this recording on Thursday afternoon, he has 6 goals and 8 points in the 9 games already this season, which included a game where he pulled off the Michigan, and a game where he became the 2nd youngest player to ever record a hat-trick in an SHL game. Considering he had yet to even play an SHL game prior to this year, it's very impressive to see him transition so smoothly to the top flight in Sweden. He is on pace for a 45-plus point season, which is probably not sustainable, but his fast start is certainly worth noting. He will definitely make a strong case to be named to the Swedish World Juniors team, and has all the skills to be one of their top players at the tournament. Staying in the SHL and staying with Djurgårdens, Viggo Bjork is off to a 4-point in 9 game start. Maybe expect a little bit more from him as the season goes on, and Victor Eklund has 5 assists in 9 games so far, also for Djurgårdens, as they are a team just filled with young talent. Also, Ivar Stenberg is off to a 5-point in 9 game start for Frölunda. Also expect a little bit more from him, especially considering he is a top 3 player at next year's draft. Over to the NCAA, starting with the biggest storyline, Gavin McKenna. Again, recording this on Thursday, so he will have played 2 more games tonight and Friday before the video goes live on Saturday, but he's already off to a great start with a goal and 2 assists in 2 games as a 17-year-old freshman. Getting top line minutes and top power play time with the other best players on Penn State, he is living up to the hype and looks like he'll need no extra time adjusting to the NCAA game. Over to Michigan, whose stats are a bit inflated right now, after 11-1 and 7-0 wins, but it's worth noting that Canadians prospect Michael Hage is off to an insane start with 2 goals and 5 assists for 7 points in 2 games. Rangers second rounder Malcolm Spence had no issue translating his game as he has 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points in those 2 games, and Penguins first rounder Will Horkoff put up a hat-trick and has 5 total goals in those 2 games. A great confidence boost for those 3 prospects and for the team as a whole. Obviously those point totals are not sustainable, but it's exciting to see these prospects light it up, especially Hage, who is the closest to being NHL ready, and with a strong season I'd like to see him join the Canadiens at the end of the year for a playoff push. On defense, Flames prospect and someone who I mentioned in my draft steals video, Henry Muse is off to a strong start also with the University of Michigan with 4 assists in 2 games. And Hawks first rounder Sasha Boisvert had a nice 3-point night in Boston University's only game so far. In an exhibition game for Michigan State, newcomers and first rounders Riker Lee and Porter Martone got off to some good starts for their new NCAA team. Martone looks like he is in for a big, successful year with the Spartans, and I wonder if he'll join the Flyers at the conclusion of his college season. Going over to the OHL, Nikita Klepov, who I talked about in the Hlinka review video, is off to a blistering start with his new Saginaw Spirit team with 7 goals and 13 points in 7 games. He is coming off a great Hlinka performance like I mentioned in that video, and came into the season as an early 2nd round projection. However, if he keeps up this pace, he will make a strong case to creep into that 1st round at the 2026 draft, as the 17-year-old is off to a goal per game pace this OHL season. Also in Saginaw, Demian Zilkin, 2027 draft prospect, has 5 points in 2 games played so far. Keishon Aitchison is off to a 8-point in 6 game start with the Barrie Colts, as he is picking up right where he left off last year and should make the Islanders fans very excited. Draft-eligible forward Beckham Edwards is off to a strong start with 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points in 6 games for the Sarnia Sting as he is coming off a 45-point OHL rookie season and comes in as a potential mid to late first rounder. Rubrock has 6 points in 7 games for Niagara, and I expect that pace to pick up over the course of the season. Over in Windsor, Velchetz is off to an 8-point in 8 game start, and Liam Greentree, who is back with the team, has an impressive 6 points in 3 games after being sent down by the Kings after preseason. With the new NCAA rule, lots of Americans are coming over to the CHL to play their 16 and 17-year-old seasons before going over to the college route, and like the OHL with American Klepov leading the league, the WHL also has an American JP Hobart off to a great start with the Blazers with 9 goals, 5 assists for 14 points in just 5 games as he too is looking to crack the first round next year. Ryan Lynn is off to a hot start with the Giants with 10 points in his first 7 games as he looks to climb the draft rankings and maybe into that top 10. Another top D-man, Daxon Rudolph, has 8 points in 6 games so far for the Raiders as he too looks to be a consistent top 10 candidate. Mathis Preston has 4 goals and 8 points in 5 games for the Spokane Chiefs, and Stars third rounder Cameron Schmidt is picking up right where he left off with 9 points in 6 games to start off the year with the Giants. Landon DuPont is off to a slowish start with only 4 assists in the first 6 games for Everett, and I expect him to pick up that pace over the course of the season. Interestingly, draft-eligible forward Noah Kosick of the Swift Current Broncos is off to 10 points in 6 game start as he's looking to build his draft stock this year. Not exactly hockey news, but Blackhawks prospect Mason West is off to a great start as the quarterback for his high school football team. If you didn't already know, he is committed to pursuing hockey and he went in the first round to the Chicago Blackhawks this offseason, but stated that he would finish out his high school football career before switching over to hockey. Anyways, he's having a strong start and turning the heads of some football colleges, which is obviously alarming for Chicago as there is a risk of him being persuaded by a football school to pursue football instead of hockey. I don't see that happening personally, but it's just an interesting storyline to watch. That's just a quick recap of the first few games for many of the top prospects around the different leagues. Very early and small sample sizes so far, but it's still interesting to see. The 5 2025 rookies to crack the rosters are a very interesting storyline to watch, as it was considered a weaker draft. Let me know what you guys think and which prospects have impressed you so far. Like and subscribe and check out my channel for tons of more prospect content.